This winter we landed in Gran Canaria because we unfortunately weren't allowed to go to Argentina to our Globi. The little house that we rented is located in the hills above Arucas and has a beautiful view over Las Palmas. Before we start to our first hike, we visit the Sand Sculpture Festival at the beach of Las Palmas. It takes place every year. The international artists use several tons of sand to create scenes related to the Christmas story. It is really impressive what the carvers create just with sand. Then we walk out of town to the other beach, which is really empty because of Corona, and then up to Las Palmas' local mountain, the Altos de Confital. The view from up there over the Isleta and the bay is terrific. The total contrast to the previous tour is the so-called Ruta del Agua, which leads through the Barranco de Santa Brígida. The gorge is very green and lush. You almost feel like you are in the jungle. The name of the hiking trail already indicates that there is always enough water and that therefore the plants can grow very well. Sometimes we walked between the old city walls and underneath old buildings. It was a hike without foresight, but it was definitely very varied.
Huh?
The way back up the gorge to the town, though, was pretty steep. This time we ended up in the center of the island. This easy round trip starts near Tejeda, a well-known mountain village in the middle of the island. You basically walk around a hill and hence always have a nice view. The paths themselves are also exciting. On the one hand, how they fit into the landscape, and on the other hand, how the lava rock have eroded into interesting steep walls or even real sculptures. There is definitely always enough to see and photograph. Most of the paths are actually well maintained, but sometimes the plants grow a little bit more lush. And that was probably one of the most beautiful hikes we have undertaken at the Bandama volcanic crater. We first descended into the crater and circled it below before we then took the rim of the crater under our feet. The bottom of the crater is very fertile, and until the 2010s, agriculture, mainly goat farming, was practiced here. What a long way the goat herd had to walk every day. Whew. The ascent is actually pretty steep, but you are rewarded with a great view. The hike on the crater rim itself was of course a true highlight. Sometimes a bit exposed like here, but mostly quite wide and comfortable to walk. And of course for free, the enormous wide and panoramic views.